First at 6, the end is near for the Karen Read murder retrial. Jury deliberations are underway. It is now up to a group of 12 jurors to decide whether or not Read is responsible for the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Colton Bradford. The waiting game, it has officially begun at Norfolk Superior Court. Today, defense attorney Alan Jackson and prosecutor Hank Brennan presenting their closing arguments to the jury.
NBC 10's John Maroney joining us live outside court in Dedham with an in-depth look at the 11th hour pleas. John, good evening.
Good evening, Priscilla. Dramatic moments in court as attorneys on both sides plead with the jury to consider all the facts and evidence before reaching a verdict.
There was no collision.
Attorney Alan Jackson imploring the jury to find Karen Read not guilty of killing John O'Keefe after hitting her boyfriend with their Lexus SUV and leaving him to die in a blizzard.
They cannot and they will not ever be able to prove that John was struck by a vehicle beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty.
Jackson says the state's case doesn't add up. From the broken taillight to the lack of brakes in the victim's x-rays to scratches on his arm. He said the investigation was corrupt from the start because of former state trooper Michael Proctor, fired for his handling of the case and crude text messages about the defendant.
If the Massachusetts State Police can't trust him, how can you trust him?
The defense showed the jury video of Read and O'Keefe kissing at the Waterfall Bar and Grill, as well as Brian Higgins play fighting and later motioning O'Keefe to follow him, suggesting he lured the Boston police officer to 34 Fairview Road to kill him out of jealousy.
We know that he had a romantic design on Karen. That becomes an incredibly important fact.
He's described as a good man, kind, generous, thoughtful.
Special prosecutor Hank Brennan started his closing by remembering O'Keefe and dismissing the defense conclusion there was no collision.
She was drunk, she hit him, and she left him to die.
Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?
The jury was shown a national interview in which Read talks about whether she hit O'Keefe. Brendan urged jurors to consider the state's experts who synced up his cell phone with her SUV.
Look at the facts, look at the data, and it all leads to one person. There's no grand conspiracy. It leads to one person, the defendant.
Any work that makes you feel confident that you could avoid a mistrial this time? Or is that a fear?
We've done everything we can, the instructions, the verdict slip. You've seen us fighting in court.
Now the jury was sent home at about 4:30 this afternoon. They will be back on Monday to resume deliberations. It is a 12-member jury. As you recall, 18 were chosen to hear the case. That has been cut down to 7 women and 5 men. Well, live in Dedham, John Maroney, NBC 10 Boston.
John, thank you. NBC 10 Boston is your home for Karen Read's second murder trial. You can also watch on NECN and streaming on our YouTube page. Then be sure to join us tonight at 7 o'clock for Canton Confidential for retrial analysis. Coming up in about 25 minutes, our NBC 10's JC Monahan is going to join us with a full preview of tonight's program.